Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Warm welcome to everyone who's come tonight. We'll begin with Gita Jnana, meditative verses on Bhagavad Gita. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadyayiniim Amba Tvamanusandadami Bhagavad Gita Bhavaddeshiniim Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe Pullaravindayata Patra Netra Yena Tvaya Bharata Taila Purnaha Prajvalito Jnanamaya Pradipaha Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gitamritaduhe Namaha Sarvopanishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsa Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Krishnam Vande Jagadguru Hari So tonight is night 99 consecutive satsangs. Jnana Yajna across Guyana is the where we are today. Chinmaya Mission Guyana taken the sankalpa to do 108 consecutive nights of Bhagavad Gita. From Crabwood Creek in quarantine to Pomeroon, we have been going. And the last set of nights, about just over 20 nights, is here in West Coast. And where we are in Bhagavad Gita is in the last chapter, because we're coming to the end now. So the last chapter of Bhagavad Gita is the 18th chapter. Bhagavad Gita has 18 chapters. And in this last chapter, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, who is teaching Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, a warrior on a battlefield, in this chapter he's giving a summary of everything he told so far. He's also giving some additional ideas on points that were hinted at earlier on. Like any great science textbook, you will have an appendix at the end. Appendix, you know? So if you're reading a great book on cooking, you know, some people just have a big, huge book like this on how to cook, hardcover book. And it'll have so many recipes and science behind different temperatures and all that. But at the back, you might find, okay, now let me tell you about knife skills. So far, I've been telling you how to julienne and how to mince and how to chop. You know, which knife is meant for what? An appendix. It was only hinted at during, but now we'll go into detail. Bhagavan also is giving the practical aspect of so many of the ideas given so far. So getting a summary, getting practical, and you're getting some additional ideas. All in this chapter 18, which is also the longest chapter of Bhagavad Gita if you count by verses. If you count by verses, this is the longest. Tonight we begin on verse number 23. But let me tell you what has just gone on for the first 22 verses of this wonderful text. Bhagavan, I can put it this way. I was telling last night that I had gone with Puja Swami Prakashananda ji to Pool Kumari's radio station, the radio booth. You might be knowing she has a wonderful radio station, and she was interviewing Swamiji about this 108 nights. And she was inquiring a little bit, well, what is it all about? So now, you know how radio goes. You have 1 minute to explain what you want to say, because after that you go to a song, right? Or you go to a word from our sponsors or something like that. So now Swamiji has to summarize the teaching to all the listening public. What he said left such an impression on me. Swamiji explained like this, that did you know you only ever deal with your mind. You don't ever deal with the world outside. Everything you see outside is actually going on in your mind. You never actually see anybody, if you think about it. Like how I'm seeing you now, and you're seeing me now. I'm not seeing you. See, the light falls on your nice sari or kurti, right? And if it's shining, more light will fall. And that light bounces off that and comes to my eyes. Yes? Correct? Then, once it lands on my eyes and it goes back through the pupil to the retina, it leaves something goes on there and it turns into an electrical impulse. That electrical impulse goes to the brain, and the brain passes that to the mind, and the mind makes a picture of what I'm seeing. Did I get that right? All the students who are here, did I get that right? So what I see finally is the image produced in my mind from the light bouncing off your clothes. I don't see you. I don't see you. I see the image in my mind. And like that for all the senses. So all I see is the world in my mind. I never see the world outside. And you also. And then it doesn't just happen like that. There are so many opinions and ideas and other things that people have that weigh on that perception. So since you only ever have to deal with your mind, if you master your mind, then you master the world. Like that. So the rishis and great thinkers and so many enlightened beings have told all of human beings, if you master the mind, you master the world. Now, how to master the mind? Because we cannot see it. You've never seen your own mind. You cannot taste it. You can't say it's sweet or it's salty. It's bitter or it has umami flavor. What is the flavor of your mind? You can never say. What does it look like? Means it's not tangible. So I can't grasp it like that. But it is there. And it's more important than everything else. It comes like this. Imagine, have you ever tried? Sometimes when you have bright lights behind you, you can see your reflection in a screen. Like in a phone screen or a TV screen. You can see your reflection. Has it ever happened? Yeah. So imagine now there's something playing on the screen. Some movie, Kuch Kuch Hota Hai, some movies playing on the screen. And you also now catch your reflection. And you try and now look at yourself in that screen while the movie is playing. You ever try that? Or you're standing and you look at yourself in a brand new polished car. You know, the car just waxed and polished and all, so you can see yourself. But then there's so many other things moving around in that picture. So now, If you want to get a good idea of yourself, you have to look very carefully and you have to start to kind of separate. No, that's Shah Rukh Khan, that's not me. Right? That's, what is her name? Kuch hota hai? Kajol, that's not me. But so you have to separate out the things that you're seeing. And in that, one of them is moving. And you who are looking through the screen is not moving. So you can use that also. And if anything moving on the screen, well, that's not you. So you have to look past that and find yourself. So now, similarly, inside each of us, there is a moving part and an unmoving part. The moving part is easy to see, like the movie. And the unmoving part, like you standing there looking at yourself, that's hard to see. The scriptures talk about the unmoving part. And they help us go inside and separate out the two. The unmoving part is one with Bhagavan. The unmoving part is responsible for life. The unmoving part is free and untouched by anything. The unmoving part is common in all beings. From the unmoving part, the moving comes. The unmoving is conscious and the moving is inert. And the rishis go on trying to help us see the difference. That person who can go inside and find their own reflection, they become free from anything going on in what's moving. This is how the rishis explain. And they encourage everybody to do it, because unless you can find something that's not changing in your mind, you can't really master it. That mind can bring you to your knees, as it did for Arjuna. Strongest warrior, most handsome, most talented. Dhananjaya conquered wealth in different kingdoms. Most respected warrior. You have to take who is the most respected in each field? The fastest man, Usain Bolt. Right? And then the strongest man, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger. And the most brave warrior, you grab that person, you put them in one being. Really speaking, and that is Arjuna. If he were to walk in, we would all stand up and bow. Brilliant, powerful in every regard. And that great, he fought with Lord Shiva also. In ordinary, you say a man fought with Bhagavan Shiva. What power he had. He also fell to his knees and he cried, and his mind brought him way down, incapable to face life. Life is like that. And we are not him. Life takes a very little bit, it brings us to our knees. You just drop your phone and it'll break. Oh, I didn't back up all my photos. Everything gone. Oh. For the rest of your life, you remember, I had a photo of that, I had a photo. It gone, my life gone. That's us. Now Arjuna has to fight a battle with millions of people on the other side. And his struggle is not a little lost like that. He has to take out his arrow and he has to shoot it. And he has to slice the head of Dronacharya right off, his guru. He had to fight a battle where it so happened that life made it that his guru is on the other side. He didn't ask for this battle. He is on the side of righteousness, and somehow his guru ended up on the other side. And he's the top warrior. Everybody looking to him. Right behind him is his grandfather. He has to pierce the heart of his grandfather. And if he hesitates, there's a whole army behind him will hesitate. Ruthless he has to be. Watch that arrow pierce his heart and blood spurt everywhere, and fire an next one before he hits the ground. Oh. He said, no, I can't do this. Lord Krishna, I can't do this. Life really messed me up here, man. So, for 18 chapters now, Lord Krishna has been teaching Arjuna about Don't worry, man, this karma is going to work itself out. These Kauravas are already dead. Come, I'll give you a vision of the whole universe. I am actually going to do everything. You just be an instrument in my hand. They have always been there. They will always be there. The jiva never dies. He goes on telling him so many things so he can get up and fight. So that all has gone now in the previous nights. We're coming to the end. And Bhagavan is teaching about, this chapter began in verse 1 with a question from Arjuna about two words. Letting go and letting go. Tyaga and sannyas. And Lord Krishna answered that. What is tyag? It is the little bit of letting go that we do as a practice to reach the goal of letting go of our ego. When we give up attachment to this selfish action and attachment to this thing that I like, and worry about that thing that I don't like, in favor of doing our duty as a dedication to society, when we live like that, also called karma yoga, then you become fit to drop that very ego which has all the likes and the dislikes and the attachment. That's called sannyas or mukti. So now Bhagavan answered what is tyag, and now he's going to talk about what is mukti. What really does it mean to say a person has become free? And that we already saw. You go inside and you find your unchanging part of your personality. But the only way to go is to go through the mind. You can't go around the mind. The only way to see yourself in that moving screen is to look through at the screen. Where else will you look? You have to go through the mind to go beyond the mind. So now Bhagavan is let me take the mind. And let's analyze this mind together. And we can, from that, first of all, you'll know what is mind and what is not mind. You will also know how to make it. So, see if the movie has a really attractive scene going on there. You go forget about your reflection and watch the movie. Before you know it, 1 hour gone. You only look to see if you had something, somebody said you had something in your teeth. So you look to see, I have some imperfection or not. Before you know it, 1 hour gone, because you forgot to look at yourself and you watch the whole movie and you're crying too. Oh, I can't believe Rani Mukherjee died. Right? So how about we change the movie so it is easier to look at yourself? How about we change the thoughts in the mind so that it can be most productive and conducive to mukti? How about that? So the rishis have made a science of this thing. And nowhere else on the planet you'll find anything like this. No other religion has anything like this. How to make the mind. And it's so systematically taught. So now, yesterday we saw the first thing in the mind. You know what prompts you to action? I don't know if you've thought. But Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, what prompts a person to do what they have to do in life? And the answer to that is their vision, the way they look at things. Well, you weren't there yesterday and it didn't stream online, so I can tell again. One man had a cow, and it so happened it hadn't rained for a long time. So all his grass in his field dry. So his cow is persnickety, snobby. He don't like to eat dry grass. He only wants fresh, nice, green grass. So that man don't have time and don't have money to go cut grass every day for the cow's huge appetite. So he thought of a nice solution. He went and he bought a pair of huge green sunglasses. And he put it on the cow. And now wherever the cow looked, all the grass looking green. And he eaten everything. Problem solved. Now, means to say, if you change the way you look at the world changes. And the world actually doesn't have any exact way. The world depends on how you look at it. So what we saw was the best way to look at the world, the mediocre way to look at the world, and the worst way to look at the world. What they call the sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic in the language of scriptures. And the best way to look at the world is what? That person, wherever they look, they first find the common ground. And they identify that that is the thing that is the most important, that is the thing that I use to think about everything else. They find the common ground. Like, there are so many differences which are obvious. Everybody here is of a different age. So a person could be like, okay, how many young people are here? How many old people are here? There are different genders. Oh, how many men came to satsang? How many women came to satsang? Then in the country you have different regions. Oh, who has better satsang? People in Essecubo or people in West Coast? Somebody could ask me like that. Right? So they're forcing me to divide one nation in two and compare. You compare races, you compare cultures, you compare religions, you compare anything you can compare like that. But see one thing. The sattvic person, okay, I can think about all that, but I don't forget that I am a human being and you are a human being. First and foremost, before I'm Hindu, I am a human being. Before I'm a man, I'm a human being. And you, before you are a Christian or a Muslim or an atheist, first you're a human being. Which is more fundamental? Being a human being or being of a certain type of tradition, thought tradition? Which is more fundamental, you tell me? Being human being. You have to be human being first, then only you can belong to a religion. So from that point of view, we are same. Exact same. One being. Can't divide us. And every human being has something called humanity. Correct? But when I forget that, and I think of you as different from me, at that point, I can treat you anyhow. I lose my humanity. But I should never forget, I'm a human being, I must act like a human being. And when I see somebody else, let them say whatever and do whatever, but let me not forget they're also a human being. And they are same as me in that regard. And this goes on and on. You can include the plants and the animals and all of existence. The rishis analyze that. That person who identifies with the common ground, he naturally has love for another person. He naturally does service for the other person. Just like how people in your house, if they're struggling with exams, you will stay up late and stay there with them and all that. But the neighbor, good actually, they're one less person to compete with. Why? Because I feel no connection with that neighbor. Where there's a connection, there's naturally love. When you hear there's something to be done at your temple, get up and do it fast. When you hear something to be done at somebody else's temple, so what? That's because the person sees my temple, your temple. But the person who feels, no, I belong to Sanatana Dharma. I belong to this ancestry, and if it's something is going on there, I should do something. That person has a higher vision. The higher vision is more conducive for happiness, growth, prosperity, and mukti. Like that. So now, having left vision, Bhagavan talks about, well, let us chant and then we'll see. Right? So from 23 now, if you have your Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have your Bhagavad Gita, if you have it also, what we're going to do, I'll chant the verse and you will please chant the chorus. By doing that, the chorus is Hare Krishna, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Not something hard. You will get blessings. Otherwise, if I come and I chant Hare Krishna, I will get blessings. And you will just watch me get blessings. You like that? Go sit in front of the bank and watch people go in and make deposit. You don't make any deposit, you just watch other people deposit. It's not nice. So, let us all go to the bank of Punya Karma together and chant the name of the Lord. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Everyone.
Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna. talk about action. We just saw vision, how you look at the world. And that will prompt you to respond differently. Now, did you know that action can be of different qualities? Well, if you think about it, yeah. So right now you're doing an action sitting, another action listening, another action maybe itching, turning. Then just now you'll be doing another action eating, talking. So all of that sitting, you can sit in a noble way, or you can sit in a mediocre way, or you can sit also in a dull way. Correct or not? So which way are you sitting right now? You don't know. You have to know which is the most noble way to sit and which is the most dull way to sit. Breathing also. You can breathe in a life-giving, joy-giving, energy-giving way. Or you can breathe in a really dull way, which promotes disease. So, all actions can be done differently. Now, Bhagavan has to summarize all that in one line. But he can do it. He's Bhagavan. Explain to me, please, Bhagavan, what is that sattvic karma? The noble type of action, righteous, good for everybody, brings peace and prosperity everywhere. That's for the world. Good for me also. It's going to lead to mastery of my mind. It's going to transform my personality. It's going to conserve my energy. I want to know that type of action. Describe, please, O Bhagavan. So first he tells, first thing, and always the first thing you tell is the most important. First thing, that karma has to be your duty, your job. What has come down to you from scriptures or from government as your job or from elders or from society or from the tradition. Something has come down and you have a job. Everybody has a job. According to where you're sitting, in life, according to your experience, your stage, you have a certain job to do. And you have to be aware. I mean, those sitting up front here, they have it just by virtue of sitting up front. If something goes wrong here, something goes on fire, they have more of a responsibility to get up and do something than someone sitting at the back, correct or not? Yes, just by virtue of where you are. So you have to know, I'm sitting here in life, and therefore I have to do this thing more so than that person. And if somebody does their duty, another person gets their rights. I don't know if you've thought about it. Because the man who picks up garbage comes on time every day and does his job, you have the right to a clean yard. You mean you have a right to a clean yard as being a Guyanese, to live in a clean place? You have that right. But you can't enforce it unless somebody else does their duty. Correct or not? Suppose you didn't get your, 100,000. Then you go there to the office to say, I have a right to get it. And when you go, the person is not there. So their duty is to be there at 8 a.m., for instance, and they're not there. Can you enforce your right? Yell, scream, do what you want. You can't do anything. Somebody else has to do their duty before you can get your right. So because all day, every day, we are enjoying various rights, when it comes time for you and I to do our duty, we must do it. Anything else would be unfair, wrong. And if you try and skip out on duty, man, I tell you, that person will have to pay it back someday, somewhere. The other day, we did some simple math about a teacher who didn't finish the curriculum. Every day she'd just leave 1 hour for children to come home and study by she or he, and then there's charge extra. But you do the math. If you do that for 30 years, 1 hour you steal from the child at school because you didn't teach, and 1 hour you steal from the child because they have to come home and give you. So that's 2 hours a day. And in a school day, maybe you teach 6 hours. So 2 hours of 6 hours every day is, you didn't do your duty properly. 2 hours of 6 hours. You took unfairly. You took money from the government and then you took unfairly again from the student. 2 of 6 is 1/3. 1/3 of your 30-year career, the funds came unfairly. That's 10 years of 30, correct? Then you take that by times 30 children in the class. 10 years times 30 children is how many years? That's 300 years of work that wealth I took without doing the necessary work. From one lifetime I got 300 years of debt. Now how you go pay that back? That person will have to be born somewhere where right from childhood they'll have to work with no pay. There's such places on the planet. Child labor is there. And they can't pay that off in one lifetime, you know. Lifetimes it will require. So in Hinduism we pay heed. If I have a job to do, let me not shortchange that work even a little bit. In fact, let me produce a little more than I consume. Let me give a little more than I take, because I sure would have shortchanged in the past. So first thing, if you want to do correct karma, you make sure it's your duty. And then also, that person must have sangha rahitam. To know what is my duty, it takes a lot of thinking, you know. It takes guidance from scriptures, because we don't necessarily know what our job is. And it takes education also. It means you and I have benefited so much from the work of others. While we're a child, we have to learn to make practical use of our talents. Only then when we grow up, we can do something for the world. You have to learn how to do something and then go do it. Then you have to be quick. You can't neglect. Oh, I drive it on the road. And I didn't learn to drive properly. Imagine. So I neglected something in my education. So everybody else on the road has a right to drive safely. They have a right for you not to come and hit them. But because you skipped a few steps in your education, you can't execute your duty properly. Now you rob that other person of the right to drive and live safely on the road. So it's not just an easy thing, I go do my duty. I have to educate myself to do that. Otherwise I dare not get on that road. If I neglect education, attention, fitness, I cannot do my duty properly. So that's a whole intellectual thing. You have to train yourself, develop yourself, make yourself more fit. But the other one now, sangha rahitam, that has to do with the heart. It means to say, when you're doing what you're doing, you shouldn't have hopes and wishes and desires that when I do this job, I will be better than others, I will upgrade my house, this, that. Bhagavan, you put really high bar, you know. I shouldn't have hopes and dreams. But that's what I hear from childhood, hope and wish and pray. In scriptures, we do not promote hopes. That's a very Western idea. In scriptures, it's called asha pasha. The hope itself is a noose that we bind ourselves with. We have a different idea. See, one lady was saying, when I was a young girl, I was dying to go to primary school. And wear that uniform and go to school like all them girls. When I was in primary school, I was dying to go to middle school. When I was in middle school, I was dying to go to high school. I would be the biggest in the whole class. When I was in high school, I was dying to go to university. But when I was in university, I was dying to get out of there and get my own job and have my own things and go where I want and have my own car and have some freedom. When I come out to that and I had my job, I was dying to get married. After I get married, I was dying to have children. After the children started to grow up, I was dying for them to grow up and leave the house. Then now they left the house and I look back at my life and I realize I spent my whole life dying, and I never lived. Hoping just around the corner life will be better. If only this could happen, life will be better. And I'm working here now to get that thing. like that. It's called a rat race. The rats all racing. They don't know what they're racing for. They're racing. They might get the cheese, they may not get the cheese. At the end, there's still a rat. Nothing changed. That. What do we have instead of that? What can you offer me, O scriptures, besides that kind of hope for a wonderful future and work and hope I get it? First of all, anybody gets it? Go back one generation to all your parents, friends and all that. Any of them end up free and happy with no problem? It happened? Go back one generation before that. It happened? Go back 5 generations before that. Who ended up saying, okay, world, I've had enough, I'm free. You can take this body if you want to. I'm good. I removed all my desires and I'm not even afraid of death anymore. Anybody came out okay? That thing doesn't work. So what do you have to offer me? When it comes to karma, the attitude is, while I'm doing this work, man, I get enjoy from the work itself. I don't need to wait for anything in the future. Something will come, that's a bonus. Come, don't come, let Bhagavan deal with that. Just work it. You know, a little baby, a toddler, if you watch them, they have this. They have this attitude. Okay, mom, I'm drawing a picture of you. And that's the best thing of their life. Because they're doing something for mom. So their heart is fulfilled just doing that. And then they run and they show, mom, that's you. She said, that's an elephant? No, mom, that's you. Okay, you can laugh, It's in Mandir, you can be happy. Laugh if you want to laugh. Don't hold it back. So, no, that's not an elephant, that's you. I said, okay, I'll draw another one. And all day she just draw a picture. Do you know that kind of thing? You remember those days? They're happy. They don't want, as a result of this picture, you're going to give me some allowance. And you're going to let me do this thing. And they're not doing any transaction. The work itself is giving joy. And you see a new mother with her baby sometimes. Just to wipe his face and change his clothes and to put baby powder and all that. That itself is joy. Not after I do that, then the neighbor will say I'm a good mother, then only I feel happy. If they say I'm a good mother, that's a bonus. Correct or not? So you know very well what it is to work without any hopes that this job or do what I'm doing is going to give me something in the future. That's called Sangha Rahitam. I'm not attached to anything else. Let me just do my work like that. Yes. People who don't have that in life, they struggle really badly. I know firsthand. I worked in the financial industry in one of the major cities in North America for years. And all those I went to university with, they went into that field. If they're not trading stocks, then they're counting money, or they're doing economics, or they're doing financial planning, all of them. And that is a kind of world where you can't make a mistake. You make a wrong trade, and you lose somebody's money, you could lose your job, everything's on the line every time. You make one wrong audit, and then all that kind of thing. That kind of world. So in that, there's no Sangha Rahitam, there's no detachment. I better get it right. If I make a mistake, everything on the line. My promotion on the line, my wealth on the line, everything. Those type of people, their heart gets squeezed because the company will tell them, don't worry, I know it's hard on you, but if you work really hard, I'll give you a 3-weekend holiday to Tahiti. All expenses paid. So they say, okay, in 6 months of this, I'll get a vacation in Tahiti. So the heart has to hold on to that. Then when finally Tahiti comes, they go and they realize, okay, back to work. By the time they land day 1, oh man, only 2 days left. and then you know you don't deserve another one for another year. But when you get back, if you work hard this year, I give you a little pay bump. And like that, the heart has to hold on to something. They dangle in some carrot in front of you for years. Those people, they lose it after when they turn 40, 45, there's a breakdown. And then they go, my heart needs to do painting or drawing or running or swimming. Just something where I can do an action and not feel any stress. Because the whole life they didn't learn this Sangha Rahitam. And you might think, why are you giving me examples from Canada and US? But that translates exactly to why children jump off Kaichur Falls, because they didn't get a proper grade. Means there's no joy in sitting here and learning about the planets. The 9 planets, and I live on number 3. Third rock from the sun. And I'm at a perfect distance, and because of that perfect distance, life can be there. If I was a little closer, we would be like Mercury. If I was a little further, I'd be like Pluto. But I'm not. And then, like that, there's no joy. Because they're only while they're writing, I better pass, I better pass, I better pass, I better come get number, how many ones I go get, then how they go recognize me, oh, I didn't get it, I came second. No, all they're thinking about is when I study this, whatever it is, I don't care, I go get something at the end. So, parents, Hindus need to take charge of their own. This is your scripture. Sangha rahitam. Don't worry, son. You love your teacher. You love your subject. And if you do your karma like that, everything will come to you. Leave grades. That will take care of itself. Where is the parent who studies Bhagavad Gita and teaches their child that? Where are they? Because the Hindus are the one who are at fault for squeezing the child too much. You see, the good thing is we learn education is important. So we hold on to that. But then we miss the other side of it. How the education should be done. Then also, aphala prepsuna, that person, we talked about that. They have no desire for any material gains. Such action is, and raga, dvesha, araga dvesha. That person doesn't give in to their senses. The senses don't decide what they should do. Their intellect decides. Puja Swami Chinmayanandaji gave a perfect example. If you want, you talk so much about good karma, can you give some example? He said the best example you can remember, if you want to remember, is remember the nurse in the hospital. Remember her. See, she first of all has no attachment to the patient. She can't afford to feel if this patient doesn't live, well, I can't live. She doesn't have. Correct or not? She doesn't. Next. She doesn't have any, see one other word that was given there. Sangarahitam aragatvesha kritam. She doesn't have any, it doesn't come here, it'll come just now. She doesn't have any ego that she's saving the patient. She knows that's in the hands of the doctor and Bhagavan. The doctor has given what meds and all that. She's just a nurse. So she doesn't feel, I did it if he comes out. See something else. Every nurse is known for having fortitude and cheerfulness. Day in, day out, they go in and they're doing that job. It's not so easy. They're standing up and they're cheerful the whole time. A good nurse. That's the kind of nurse you want, right? So they have all of that. And success or failure, they do their job. They know a hospital is a place where you come. Some people leave through the front door. Some people leave through a different door and go on and get the next body. But the places are coming and going. So if somebody leaves through the front door, it doesn't mean that I did a good job. So to work like a nurse in this world, not attached to what's going on, that person is the best. That person is going to get mukti. That person leads to peace and happiness. That person transforms inside. Like that. We also chanted, what is the rajasic, ambitious person? How do they do things? Well, you get an idea just from study. They're like the opposite. What they do is with desire. I mean, you have everything, the desire is required for everything, but they have a desire for material gains. Like that. What else? Well, they also have what is called sahankara. They have ego. I did it. This got done because of me. Look, this is the house I built. This is the village where my parents did this other thing. Like that kind of thing. I did it, I did it, I did it. That thought's in their minds, coming out their mouth. If you want to teach children these things, you can watch some of the nice cartoons. They have one movie, Madagascar. You've seen Madagascar? Movie? With the well, there's one character called King Julian in that movie. And they studied this Bhagavad Gita and they said, okay, let's make King Julian the example. Anything happens in the kingdom, he goes, I did it, I did it, I did it, that was me, I did it. And because he feels he did it, he also feels he deserves all the wealth and he should be pampered and all that. So the feeling of ahankara comes with a very demanding personality. Like that. That demandingness is given in this verse also. Selfishness, desire. So that's the other type of personality. I'm going out in this world and I'm doing my action with desire. I'm doing my action and I feel like I'm responsible. See something. Let me just check now. Are you responsible for the things that you have done in your life? Or the world is responsible? Check and see. You just name something you did. In your own mind, you don't have to say. Check and see. How much did the world contribute to that thing and how much did you contribute to that thing? Suppose in your life, you made a murti. You chiseled a murti in your life. And it's beautiful. And it's so beautiful they decide to put it somewhere central in town. Now, you will say, well, I did it with my own two hands, nobody else did it. But if you check and see that thing properly, first of all, did you invent sculpture? No. Did you teach yourself sculpture? No, someone would have taught you. Did you invent the tools? No. Is the energy yours? No, you got that from the sun. Is the discipline yours? No, your mother has been taking you to school and making you disciplined from child. That's how you became disciplined. Then the actual material, which is what allows the sculpture to look so good, did you make that? No. And do you think Bhagavan could not have got that murti made without you? That there's no other person in the whole world who could have made that? Better they would have made it. So in no way, shape or form are you indispensable for anything to happen. You're totally dispensable. Bhagavan doesn't need you to get his work done. And when you do something, you rely on him mainly. If you have to do percentage, you might say, okay, I did 1%. And if you calculate properly, Bhagavan's grace is responsible for 99%. The rishis analyze properly, and they say, no, I don't even take 1%. Like that. But this Rajasic doer, he doesn't see that. He said, I did it. So who cooked this food? The cook always read, I did it. Who organized this satsang? I did it. Me, this guy. Meanwhile, I didn't do it, by the way, it wasn't me, but that's what we want to say, because we get a kick. Ego gets a big kick. But it's totally false and not true. But the person who thinks like that, they become demanding, and I want this, and I should be here, I'm better than you, what have you done in your life? They become different. So you can become like that also, Arjuna. Such is there in this world. Then, we didn't chant. Let us chant the dull type of doer. Anubandham kshayam himsam napeksha cha paurusham. Now, this next person, he's not thinking I did it, and he's ambitious, and he has desires. He's tamasic, the lowest type. So, Bhagavan says, this is the type of person who does action like this. Anapeksha, that's the key word there. He doesn't consider so many things, and he goes and does it. He doesn't consider, first of all, the consequences of his actions. Now, do you ever do that? This is how we have to think. Do I ever do that? Because when I do that, Bhagavan says that's dull and that's going to bring ignorance and it's going to hold me back in life. What? Not considering the consequences of the actions. Like, I see food and I eat food. I don't think what it is, what time of day is it, how much have I eaten, and I eat food like there's no tomorrow. I see breakfast and I like it, I eat until my belly bursts. And then I realize, I have to eat lunch also. Now what I go do? And they cooked food for lunch. Now that food go away, so I eat that too. Not thinking properly, right? And this thing, it goes on and on. This is at an individual level, but it happens at a macrocosmic level also. Like somebody's making policies and they don't know what's going on the ground. So there's a rule now. Everybody has to go this way before they go that way, and they don't realize what problems it causes. They don't know what's going on the ground, but they make rules. That happens everywhere. Or, you know what? If we use this chemical on the crops, we will get more yield. But that chemical has not been studied what the effects will be on people in 50 years. Well, let who get effects later on. This could give us yield. Now, that type of action holds you and the society back big time. What else? Well, let me build some road now. But think now, how many people go drive on that road? What should be the speed limit of that road? How wide the road should be? Well, let me build it first and we'll go figure those things out after. That's not good karma. You should think in advance. What are the consequences? I'm not talking any country, that's in general, right? This is called single-use plastic. It will be around after you're gone. It will break down into 1 billion pieces and be ingested by all the other living beings on the planet. And it will slowly suffocate their immune system and their, neurological system. Well, let them deal with it. Let me drink it now and throw it. Let's say, do you know, they have done studies, in your body they find a tablespoon of microplastic floating in your blood? Right now. Some floating in your brain right now, some floating in your heart. Microplastic. When they make this water bottle, they have no step in the process to wash it such that it is clean at a ppm level, and there's no little bits of, you know when you cut plastic, have you ever tried to cut plastic? How it just break into small pieces? At the bottom of the bottle, when they fill it, there will be small pieces of plastic. And you're going to drink it. And it's going to go into your bloodstream and get stick up in who knows where. We think about that? No, man. Why go over there and fill a cup when I could just drink this here and toss it? Let the consequences be what the consequences. And you feed that to a young baby. Do you know the aluminum pot that we all cook in? It is extremely poisonous. It has been banned so many places. And aluminum is 200 times softer than the stainless steel spoon that we use to scratch when we're put the onion and the oil and all that and the haldi, and you stir and you scratch like that so it don't stick. 200 times. That's like taking a knife to butter and rubbing it on. No matter how soft you rub knife on butter, it will scratch the butter or not. And bits of butter will come on the knife and go around or not. That means to say, every time you cook in that pot, a little bit of aluminum goes into the food. And aluminum is extremely poisonous. And then for 20 years you eat that and wonder, why am I getting Alzheimer's disease or this other disease or that other disease? So you tell people this and they say, well, man, I eat it in my whole life. I didn't get that yet. I good. No, switch to a wooden spoon now. That's all you got to do. The wooden spoon don't work as well. It don't scratch as good. And then they cook all the food for everybody in the mandir with that. And they take beautiful food offered to Bhagavan, they lace it with aluminum poison, and they say, okay, everybody eat now. That's punya karma or that's papa karma? You ask, which one is it? To feed everybody something laced with poison. Which one is it? I'm not saying which one. You think and to tell which one it is. So, the simple solution, use a wooden spoon or switch to a different pot. No, I don't want to switch. I leave those results for other people to handle. Like that. So, that type of action holds us back in life. And so that is not considering the consequences, not considering kshayam, the loss, not considering paurusham, my ability. Some people do a job but don't think, am I capable or not? Who did that in Ramayana? I want to say Sugriv. That story not coming to my mind right now. Anyways, we do that all the time. So that is called tamasic action. And himsatmaka. No, himsa, I'm not considering injury to others. You know, some people just talk like that. I'm straightforward. I just call a spade a spade. I don't care who does get hurt and the consequences. Why not? Why not think a little bit and say whatever you have to say nicely? No, I don't want to consider the consequences. I just want to talk. If it hurt people, feeling that it hurt people. I am a bull in a china shop. But Bhagavan gave you intellect to think and say things softly, nicely, gently. You can say the same thing. No, I don't care about the consequences. I just shoot straight and who come in the way gets shot. But you're not using your capacities. Like that. Right. Then Bhagavan now describes, so that is karma. Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. Sattvic karma we saw. I do my duty without attachment to results for the benefit of others. Right? Rajasic, I do it with great desire for myself, thinking I did it. And Tamasic, I do it not impulsively, compulsively, without thinking about what the consequences could be for me, for others, and I lose because of that. Now, we're not supposed to study others, we're supposed to study ourselves. Now, the next topic is a wonderful one. Karta, worker, attitude. Every Mandir is looking for a true worker, a true sevak, somebody who will come with the right attitude, right? Every organization is looking for a true, solid human being who comes to do the job with the right attitude. So, every military wants that kind of soldier. Could you in one line, Bhagavan, describe who is a true worker in this world? And who's a mediocre worker? And who's the worst type of worker? Right? So let us chant that now. Bhagavan will describe. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. rajasa parikirtitaha.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Ayuta prakrita stabdaha Shatho naishkriti kodasaha.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Tishadididasutrisha karta tamasa uchyate.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare
So Bhagavan is telling who is a true worker, who is a mediocre worker, and who is the dull type of worker which holds you, themselves, and society back. And he's giving descriptions, pointers, so we can improve our own life. We also only want to be the best type of worker, because the results will be the best. You will get the best results from the work you do, and you will transform as a person. First, number one again, he says, Mukta Sangaha. That person is free from attachment. And we spent some time talking about attachment just now. Then, next, Anahankara. He doesn't say, I did it, I did it, I did it. And we just saw why. Because he's thought about things in life. Whatever work I'm doing, even if I had a boss, the boss knows, the best example of this thing was from our own Bhagavan Sri Ram. When he comes back from Ayodhya, Bhagavan tells all his friends, Jambavant was there, Hanumanji was there, Nala Nila were there. He tells, we were only able to build that bridge and remove Ravana and his army because of Guru Vasishta's blessings, because of my Guru's blessings. So he's telling them that. Then when he meets his Guru Vasishta, he tells, oh, Guruji, Gurudev, we removed Ravana and it wouldn't have been possible without my friends over here. They were ready to lay down their life for this cause. So in that, where was he? In his own mind, where was his contribution? He's not just telling like that. That's how Bhagavan thinks about how things got done. So that is like the person responsible for building the temple saying, he's telling all the workers, if it was not for our ancestors, we couldn't have built this temple. And then when he has to go out and tell other people, if he tells other people, if it weren't for the people in the village, now we wouldn't have built this temple. And what is his role? Though he's the president, I don't know, they just put me in president and the temple got built. He analyzes correctly, actually. Anybody else could have been put in this position and the job would have gone done better. But I ended up here, like that. That is a true type of worker. And wouldn't you love to work for such a boss? Wouldn't you love to have such an employee? You would hire them and keep them and make sure they're there. Like that. Driti utsaha samanvitaha. This we saw when we talked about the nurse. That person has driti. Driti is a most laudable quality. It means the ability to continue, the ability to stick with it, not to give up, the ability to have patience, and don't let the different things that are changing Fortitude it is called. Fortitude. The nurse has fortitude to stand every day, all day, and see all kind of things. A worker has fortitude. If it's raining, I go into work. If it's hot, I go into work. If I'm not feeling well, I go into work. If nobody else comes, I go into work. Once I say I go in, I go in. Because the person has fortitude. 3 men were doing work. No, 2 men were doing work one day. And one fella saw them on the way. What they were doing, beside the new highway, one man was digging a hole, and the next man was filling the hole. So you think, what kind of work is that? One man dig and one man fill. We come home now after a full day of work. He's driving on the other way, and he's seeing these men dig and fill hole all up and down that highway. So he pulled over to ask. He's really curious. What exactly is your job here today? Dig hole, fill hole? He said, no. I can see why you might get confused. This actually is a 3-man team. Man number 1 does dig the hole, and man number 3 does fill the hole. But man number 2, he does put the tree in the hole. We're supposed to be planting tree up and down this highway. He's sick today. He's sick today. So we just come here to do our job. Oh, what kind of worker is that? You can't do the middleman's job and also put the tree? If somebody doesn't come to work, I'll do that also. Dhriti and enthusiasm, utsaha they have. Right? And this is such a big quality, because those who are doing good work, they find a lot of trouble. People become very frustrating. People insult them. People put them down, all kind of things. How do you stay motivated when you do that type of work? So this is the type of person Bhagavan is talking about, right? Now the next one is so good. Siddhya siddhyoho nirvikaraha. If there is success or failure, they're the same. We saw 2 nights ago, Bhagwan Ram's smiling face didn't grow when he was told he was going to be king, and it didn't become less when he told he had to go to the forest. That smile on his face was the same. Nirvikaraha. It did not change in success or failure. How can you say that? I worked so hard to do something for the community and nobody came out. I feel like I must have done something wrong. I don't know what I did. I tried to build a business and it fall flat on its face. I out money, I out time, I out effort. I don't want to go anymore. I think I'm going to go to the brahmachari course. How can you stay motivated? So Bhagavan answers that. It is not healthy to get dejected. It doesn't do anything to get dejected, and it doesn't do anything to get elated. It just wastes energy and time. One lady won the lottery. She won the lottery, and she was frightened to go home and tell her husband, because he have heart problem. If he find out that they win the lottery, well, he could, out of excitement, he could get a heart attack and die. So she went to the Pandit. I get this thing right. She went to the Pandit and she tell the Pandit, Panditji, I need a solution for this problem. Right? And Panditji said, okay, let me tell the man for you. Let me tell the man for you. I know how to talk. So he called the man there and they just have a little private conversation. And he said, I was just thinking the other day, what will happen if you win the lottery? Tell me what will happen if you win the lottery. He tell that to the man. The man said, Panditji, if I win the lottery, I giving you half. Panditji got a heart attack and died. Because he get excited now. It doesn't help to go over the moon. What you have to think always, look, this is karma working itself out. Win or lose, that thing was already written. And by the time the loss comes, the karma finish at that point. It's over. Like, suppose you have something old in the fridge, way the back, and it causing a smell. So you make up your mind, you're going to deal with it today. And you go and you remove it and you get rid of it. Right? There will be some lingering smell or not. Some lingering smell will be there. But you have to worry about that? No, because the cause is gone now. It finished. The moment the karma comes to you, that moment, it's gone, it finished, it erased, it leveled out. Have you heard the story of the never-ending slap? The Devatas had gone to Karma Phaladata Bhagavan, the Lord responsible for giving results of action. And they told him, Bhagavan, we came to see you. You just give results. You put in a law and it gives results of action. So you will see everything, past, future. You know everything will happen. You must have a very interesting life now. You see everything. You know everything. You know who will win the election already. So we come to hang out with you a little bit. Sit down on your couch and watch your TV. Because your TV sees past, present, future. So Karma Phaladata said, nah man, you guys got it wrong. I have the most boring job. How you mean? Okay, you watch now. Let me put on one episode. Look at this jiva. And the episode called The Never-Ending Slap. He gave it a name also. What do you mean never-ending slap? So they go back in time to watch what happened. One day, that man got a hunch. He got a hunch. He was taking a bus, he got a hunch. He'd get upset. How come you hunch me? So he gave that fella a hunch back. Now, like I said, when he got the first hunch, that was from something else, and that karma finished. When he gave back a second hunch now, he started a new karma. Now, one day later on in the future, instead of getting a hunch, somebody gave him a tap. Now that karma finished. Well, he turned around and gave you a cuff. He started next karma now. And next day, a person didn't give you a cuff. Instead of giving a cuff, he hit his car, and then he get a hit. Well, he took that man to court. He started next karma now. After taking that man to court and cleaning him out and all that, right? Another day, person came and thief what he had. Now that karma finished when the thing get thief, but he pulled out a gun. At that point, the devas has turned it off. We don't want to see. This thing never ends. You get a result, then you react the wrong way, you get a next result. Bhagavan said, no, don't worry. He go miss the shot and all that. And one day, he go meet a Mahatma. I myself will go and be a guru for him. And I go teach him about karma. Like that, And then he go learn. And the joke is, when he gets older, he'll get Diksha, he'll become a sannyasi, and his name will become Nitya Slapananda. He who had joy from the never-ending slap. That will be his Swami name, Nitya Slapananda. So don't worry, fast forward this part, but it does end nice. But that's our life, I'm telling you. When a result comes, at the time it comes, it's over now. If you react too much or too less, you're just starting a whole next thing. Be like Bhagavan and just smile. Okay, I go into the forest. That was written. But how I respond to this is everything now. Prasannata. Like that. This is a good, true worker, right? Now, in brief now, I'll tell you the other ones. You can get it by just imagining. The mediocre worker, he has extreme attachment. Extreme attachment, and it starts at a young age. Have you seen little children play video games? When they lose, they scream and they throw the controller because they can't. Extreme attachment they have, right? They grow up and they become big people. And their desires for results, I want something from this world. We studied that. Greedy also, they become. And violent. Because of their greedy, they don't mind stepping on people's toes and all that kind of thing. And they are the type who get elated. When Brazil wins a match, yay! The soccer. When Brazil loses, oh, like that. They become like that. And they have impure motives. Because of all of this, they don't shoot straight. The poor salesman, he gets a bad rap for that. Like that. They become like that. See, the big question in all this is, what is my attitude? That's why we have to study the lower ones also. Right? In this type of, again, the first quality here was being attached to results. What you have to do with the children is sit down and yourself one day and say, here is a list of things I want, and here is a list of things I need. And you make the two lists like that. And then let the child see, oh wow, when I have so many wants and then I act based on that and I do, and then I don't say the right thing and I try and get my way and I have impure words and all that. Why do I want things I don't need? You have to study and analyze like that. This is the big thing that has to go on there. Everybody knows the story of the monkey whose hand gets caught in the jar. You know that story? The way they catch monkeys, they take a big clay jar and they fill it with sand, and on the top of that they put sweetie. And it have a little neck. So the monkey hand can go in, and when he grabs the sweetie, it can't come out. But he won't, and the people who are coming, the hunters who are coming to catch him are coming, and he's looking at them, and he can't let go. He can't let go because he's greedy, and he get caught. Greed is something tremendous, and it is everywhere. You just have to think about this greed. Then the next one, the last one, ayukta. Finally, that lowest type of worker is one who is, mind is thinking one thing, means his good intellect is telling him to behave one way, but his senses are telling him to do something else. And he can't get his senses to line up with what his intellect is telling him to do. So he gets up in the morning to do something good, then he remembers last night there was cake in the fridge, and then before you know it, he eating cake. And thinking, tomorrow I'll go do something good. Means ayukta. His personality is disintegrated. This one pulling him this way, this one pulling him this way. So what type of action you think he'll do? Compulsive. Whatever comes, he just do that. And he can't get his good knowledge to come out. Prakrita. He is what you call unrefined, stabda, stubborn, shata, wicked. There's a difference between wickedness and weakness. In Mahabharata war, all the Pandavas, they had some weak. Yudhishthira gambled. You know the story. Played dice. But that wasn't wickedness, that was a weakness. And other characters, wicked, they mean they want, the Kauravas want to see the Pandavas suffer. They, you know when you catch a bug and you pull out his wings one by one and you get that wickedness. That's not weakness. Why you want to see some other being suffer like that? And they procrastinate like anything. This is the type of worker we get. What could be done in 1 minute, it just takes 6 months. Did you start? No man, I didn't start yet. I go start, maybe I go start tomorrow if I have the mood. You know this thing, just take the right mood. What? You just have to say yes or no? That kind of person. So that's the lowest type of worker. Right. So like this Bhagavad, and see, I went fast at the end there, and I was feeling bad to do that, because each one of these things deserve a lot of study. Right? Lot of study. But we'll leave it here for now, and just share some announcements before we close. Right? So like this, every night, we're studying a few verses of Bhagavad Gita, and it goes on like this until the last night, which is May 3rd, which is the Saturday holiday weekend. They're coming up just now in 2 weeks. And that last night, we are making it as a big grand event in a cricket ground in town. Gandhi Youth Cricket Ground. And inviting you to come. So we're doing this event for the public. So please come. There will be the final satsang by Swami Prakashanandaji. There will be food, there will be presents, there will be all kinds of dignitaries there, and of course yourself. So please do come. It is happening Saturday, May 3rd at 5 p.m. So please come, you're warmly invited. That's the final night. Then also, Chinmay Mission has something called a Vedanta course. That is an intensive, in-person, residential course at an ashram, where you go and study for 2 years. That is what it is. What do you study? You study the Sanatana Dharma, you study the scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads. Why do we have it? It is for those people who want to study the scriptures deeply, systematically in the Sanskrit medium, as it was supposed to be taught. What is the result? You come out of that knowing the scriptures well, not with bits and pieces, capable to disseminate and teach. So those who want to teach also, they just take this type of course. You also, in Chinmay Mission, and there's no compulsion, but if you want to teach in Chinmay Mission, that course you have to do, and then you can take to the path of brahmacharya and sannyas. So, it used to be that you had to go to India for this course, but it has been offered a few times, luckily here on the Western Hemisphere in Trinidad. So another batch of that course is starting in October, and it is open for everybody. If you meet the requirements, you can come and you get full scholarship. It's a free course. But I tell you, it is very intense. Classes start at 5:30 in the morning. They go every day. You can't leave. You can leave, but you can't come back. No weekends, no holidays, no phone, no internet. Very intense study. The content of that course is like 15 years of university study. That is why they put requirements. The person has to have a university degree, capable of applying their mind. They have to be under 30 years and under, and be unmarried. Capable to commit themselves to. If you know anybody like that who might be interested, you please pass on the message. All it requires, you fill out a form online, and that's how you apply. Information is there on Facebook. It's called Vedanta Course. It would be wonderful if someone from the West Coast could go to that course, isn't it? And they come back having learned. We have a Pandit's course also in Chinmay Mission. You don't have to go anywhere. That you can do from your own home. Log in online twice a day, in the morning and the evening, and we're emphasizing the chanting of all the Vedic mantras and stutis and shlokas properly. So if you know anybody who's interested in that, 15 to 30-year-olds can join that course. It's 6 months every day we're teaching, and it's online. Finally, there'll be a practical portion. You come and learn the practical side of things at the ashram in Monrepo. Now, the best announcement, maybe you say, is Dosa Day, because it has to do with food, and everybody loves food. Dosa is a delicious Indian delicacy, like something like a pancake, but made of dal and rice, urid dal and rice. And they put it on a tawa, and it's crispy and delicious, and they put aloo inside, or paneer, or they make a pizza dosa, like that. It is eaten in the, maybe you can say, hundreds of millions every single day worldwide. Everywhere in Europe and Canada, everywhere they eat in dosa. It has caught on like fire because it is so delicious. So Swamiji himself will be making dosa for anybody who wants to come. It's a fundraiser. So you come to the ashram and try a dosa, and it helps support the mission. The ashram is in Monrepo on the East Coast. That is on the day after the final night. It's Sunday, holiday weekend. Sunday, May 4th at 11 a.m., 11 to 2. All the information is online. The price of each dosa is there. And if you call, you don't have to wait in line. It'll be ready for you. Right. Tomorrow's satsang is at Sanatan Omkar Mandir in Tushin, not too far, right? 7 p.m. and we'll pick up from there. The same topic will be continuing. All right. So, a very dear thank you to the whole mandir, the executive, the Panditji, everybody for organizing this satsang. If it weren't for you all who, unseen, unknown people who do all the work, this yajna couldn't be going on like that. So we're very, very appreciative, and this mandir is so beautiful, and I'm very, very happy I got to come. I myself, many people asked me just now, so I'll tell you right up front. I born in Canada, but my dad is from Anakatrana, right here, right? So I'm Guyanese, I have a Guyanese passport, I'm Guyanese also. Okay, all right. Now we'll have Aarti, and then we'll pass it back for any closing comments, mandir announcements, like that. Bhagavad Gita Harihi Kamala Viharini Harihi Kamala Viharini Sundara Supunite Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Dharma Sumarma Prakashini Kama Sakti Hara Tattva Jnana Vikashini Vidya Brahma Para Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Nishchala Bhakti Vidayini Nirmala Malahari Sharana Rahasya Pradayini Sabhavidhi Sukhakari Om Raga Dvesha Vidarini Karini Moda Sada Bhava Bhayaharini Tarini Paramananda Prada Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Asura Bhava Vinashini Nashini Tamarajani Devi Sagunadayini Hari Rasika Sajani Om Samata Tyaga Sikhavani Hari Mukha Ki Vani Sakala Shastra Ki Swamini Shrutiyon Ki Rani Om Daya Sudha Barsavani Matu Kripa Ki Jai Hari Pada Prema Dhan Kar Apano Kar Lijai Om Om Jai Bhagavad Gita Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudadhvajaha Mangalam Pundarikaksham Mangalayatano Hari Tvameva Mata Chapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Purnamada पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल की श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की हर हर नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव ओम तत्सत्।